y'all. Welcome back to Knitting in Our Jeans. I'm Liz.
I'm Carolyn.
And you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Tooliz for you, TOOLIZZFORYOU.
And I'm CPREDMOR on Ravelry and Knitting in Our Jeans on Instagram. And I posted once, I think, about the quilt. And we have some news about that.
Yes.
Yes. Shall we show them?
Sure.
Okay. The top is done.
You won't be able to see the fullness of it, but it is done. I promise you, we just laid it out on the floor. It is completed. Now it is to be quilted block by block.
Yes. And we looked at it for patterning, and we decided that the pattern looks fine as it is. So what I'll do is I will...
There are some spots, but also is it worth it to
be
deal with them?
off.
No.
So each one will be unpinned.
Mm-hmm.
I will have batting that I put on the back. And then I've got a ton of cotton fabric downstairs that I haven't used in decades. So instead of using my muslin, I'm going to use things I bought to make blouses 30 years ago. And that'll be the backing for each individual square. Now, I have an overall backing that goes with the top. But this way I can quilt each individual square, sew them together, and then attach the fancy backing on and get that
the binding
and then the binding and the borders, and it'll look much better that way. So each one will have then. So it won't be stopped at each block on the back, which is if I sewed these together.
Yeah.
Once I quilted them, then it would just look like a bunch of squares sewed together. And that's not the look I'm going for. But I also can't roll this tight enough to get it under the head of my sewing machine to do the quilting all in one piece. So, yes, we will start quilting this.
Great.
That ought to be fun. I believe I have enough of the quilt and the batting. I have enough of, and then once it's quilted, then the borders will go on, and I'm not sure. Well, since they're borders, they don't have to go all the way under the machine. They're right at the edge, so at that point, it can be held and done. We'll see.
You may have to do one of them backwards. You may have to do two of them backwards. You can't just go around the edge.
No. I was going to do each one at its side.
Yeah, you should be fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So if you do the edge.
Yeah, because you're not turning it around in the machine. Yeah.
No, it would be a wavy pattern of some kind. So we'll see how much I can get done. My knee date is July 14th. We have to be in Alexandria next weekend through Monday. We'll be home on Tuesday. And then I think the next weekend is 4th of July.
No, the next weekend is the weekend before 4th of July. And we're in D.C. that weekend.
You're in D.C. Oh,
and then it's 4th of July.
And then we're driving up to Connecticut.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So I have one weekend in between. So it's one more weekend that I can get some work done on this quilt. I would like to get every square quilted
before surgery.
And if I could get them sewn together, oh my goodness, that would be great. That would be huge because I've had one knee done, but it was a hemi, not a full knee. So apparently there's less displacement with the hemi knee than there is with a full knee. So I know that it took me a good 2 months to get much relief with that knee. So I don't have a whole lot of time. I think Rachel wants that in October. So
I haven't heard anything.
I'd like to get it finished sometime in September.
Okay.
So it's done. We can take pictures. I would think we could send out. Anyway, we'll deal with it, but I'm getting as much done as I can.
Yep.
So the top, all the squares are done. So we'll see how many I can quilt this week.
Yes.
All right.
So I've been working away on my Mira. I tried it on. Did I tell you I tried it on
Yes.
last week? Oh, okay. I still didn't pick it up because that was too much effort, apparently, for me for this week. So I just kept knitting on it. It's looking really lovely.
It is.
Again, I'm not all that concerned because I still have a whole lot of yarn left. So once I get a little bit of, if I have a little bit of oomph this week, I will put this on, try it on tubing probably, and then pick up the neckline, do that, and then do the sleeves. Because again, I definitely have enough yarn. It's more of just, sometimes it's really nice just to pick up something and knit on it. And I really do love this pattern, and like seeing it on screen, it really does work very well with a variegated yarn. Like, yeah, there's flashing and pooling happening, but I think it's a lot less than if it had just been stockinette.
Yes.
So yeah,
texture fools the eye.
Yeah. So I did that, but then I also might or might not have cast something on. So a few months ago, I signed up for a test knit, and the test pattern finally got sent out. Because life be lifin'. And I swatched last night actually with some yarn that I got at Stitch and Pitch.
Okay.
So I was like, wait, could this yarn work? And it does. So I swatched it fully with even the little pattern because I wanted to see what that was. I swatched it. It is not the recommended needle size, but I did get recommended gauge. For stitch gauge, not for, I got, like, I'm either a half a row or a row off for row gauge, but
close enough. That's
fine because a lot of the instructions are by depth anyway, like by inches, so that'll be fine. But I even put it through the washer and dryer today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And then I cast it on. So.
Okay.
I think what I'm going to do is, since it's a knit top down, but the beginning is kind of in pieces, so you start the back and then you'll pick up at the shoulders for the front. So what I think is, I have 3 skeins, so I'm going to do, the back is going to be 1 skein, and then each side is going to be 1 skein each, and then once I get to knitting in the round, I may do a 3-row stripe, because it will pool, like it's already pooling, which is fine. I just don't know that I want that throughout the sweater. But for up here, you know, I think we'll just deal with it.
Yep.
I don't really want to deal with that much yarn management, for the little bits of, because it's going to be a V-neck. So I don't know that it's worth it. And you know what? All else fails. If it's just like a summer top, it's a summer top.
It's a summer top.
That's why I was really excited. So that's something I did this week. Do you want to talk about
Yes.
your thing that you swatched?
I was going to do this.
Yes.
You may remember. That is the Pampas Tee. Until I realized how much yardage I had on the linen. So then I decided instead to do the Pava ladies top, which has the great lace. So it has lace all around the bottom hem, and then it has a front and back lace panel. And I don't think it's going to use up all my linen either. So I then, and we were talking about how crunchy it is, I then did a swatch. This was, the lower part was size 2 needles. This was size 3 because I really didn't get gauge down here. I had 25 stitches to the inch down here, and up here I had like 18. 2 different needle sizes. So I went with and I didn't really like this see-through top at the top with size 3 needles. So I went with the size 2 needles. I went up a size. So I'm not knitting the 36, I'm knitting the 38. And I cast it on.
Wow.
And it's really easy. It is such an easy lace pattern. It's lovely. So I've been doing that. I only work on the quilt in the afternoon. morning, afternoon, because I want to have better light.
Mm-hmm.
So once it's 6 o'clock, I stop working on the quilt.
Okay.
Fix dinner. After dinner, then I can work on my knitting. I can work on my counted cross stitch or whatever else floats my boat. Because otherwise, I think it would feel not like a gift, but a chore. And I don't want it to feel like that. But I got a lot done, so I'm really pleased, and I'm really pleased with this sweater.
Yeah.
This Pava ladies top. I think it's something that I will wear a ton. And you all know how much I love lace. I love, since I love texture. So that...
You have a thread in your hair.
Of course.
Sorry, it was a very dark thread, and I was like...
In white hair.
In white hair by your ear. I was like, excuse me.
That's from cutting off pieces and stuff. So, yes. But the top is together. That's what's important. We'll start quilting, and that's good. And the Pava top has started... And anything else? Do you have to report?
I have been working on my cross stitch as well.
Have you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let's see. The Honolulu
Hawaii
one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
so
beautiful.
I finished this
and the bridge.
And the bridge. And so next I'll do the pointed mountain and then...
Diamond head?
Diamond head. Yeah, sorry. That's diamond head. And then the Mauna Loa or Mauna Kea. I can't remember which one they decided to use. Will be here. And then we'll do the clouds and the rainbow. But I'm so close, y'all.
I would just call it Kilauea because it's erupting now.
So close, y'all.
It's
so
beautiful. Close. Kilauea is erupting.
Wow.
Yes. They probably wouldn't let you stay at Volcano House now.
Probably not.
No. We've been there twice.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to continue. I'm going to do that mountain and that little bit, and just finish off that. Because then everything else is just clouds and rainbow.
Sounds good.
And I think I'm trying to decide if I do rainbow first and then all the clouds. Yeah, I think that may be what I do.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
So I have a mountain to put Diamond Head to put here, and I have Kilauea to go here. And then I will do the rainbow and then the cloud bank. And then I will reach out to my friend and be like, hey, so I intended on doing this as a wedding present. That was
6 years ago?
Yeah, I think it was 2018. So it was 7 years ago. But I will reach out and see, because originally I was going to put their wedding date, but then they ended up also living out there for a while. So that see what he wants on it.
You're going to love this.
Yeah.
So I asked your father, I said, what about, we could, buy a house in Europe, like a vacation house, one of these inexpensive vacation houses. Would you like to be in France or Italy or where? He goes, I would like to be in Switzerland near a lake. I went, okay. I can, now that I have that.
Great.
We can work on that.
Yeah.
So
I could fly to Switzerland easily. Yeah, that'd be lovely.
It's a very safe place.
Yes. I'm thrilled.
So we'll see what happens.
Ben likes Switzerland.
We've not been to Switzerland.
Ben
so
has.
Obviously first we have to get to Switzerland.
Okay.
And it won't be this year. But obviously
Not
instead
with
of
the
going
knee.
to Alaska next summer, I think I want to go to Switzerland and check this out.
Okay, yeah.
He says, I want to go to Switzerland and I would sail on the lake. I went, okay.
Great. Yeah. Great. Okay.
I almost fell off the chair. I couldn't believe he even contemplated it. He doesn't think I'd do anything with that information. Boy, is he silly.
I don't think that he doesn't think you're going to do anything with it. I think he thinks more that he gave you an outrageous answer.
Request, right. I found some houses.
I think, but I think he seriously thinks that you will think that that's outrageous. And so you'll come to him with an alternative.
I found 2 houses less than $300,000.
Oh, God.
They don't have to be pretty at the moment. They just have to be functional.
They just have to be functional. And if you're gonna buy
an engineer,
they should have 2 bathrooms standard. Because it's way harder in Europe to put an additional bathroom.
They had at least 1 bathroom. I don't remember.
I'm just saying.
Well, I would pass it in front of you first.
I know. Oh, speaking of the white hair, though, I was on the train this week, I think, and I had my headphones on, and this woman comes up to me and goes, sorry to interrupt you, but you just have the most beautiful, like, are you letting your grays grow in? You have the most beautiful hair, and I'm just starting my gray journey, and I just, do you have any advice?
Oh my gosh. You said, let it be free.
Well, and I was like, just let it do what it's gonna do. I also keep my hair quite short. She had longer hair. So I was like, I mean, my biggest issue is they act different under heat. Like, when I blow dry my hair, they act different than the rest of my hair does. So I honestly don't heat treat my hair a lot. Unless I am doing something specific and I have a curler or a straight iron, like I have a hair straightener to really handle that.
It has a very different texture.
But yeah, I thought that was very funny. And she was like, oh, okay. I was like, I mean, my dad has had white hair my entire life. He went gray at 16, and my mom during COVID decided to finally stop dyeing it blonde from the gray, and she goes, oh, I was like, yeah, like I don't see the point in really like doing anything with it, but also because I know my own fate.
Right. But we have pretty white hair.
Yes, we do, and it's just very funny because also like sometimes, especially when I'm wearing like hoodies and stuff, people are like, oh my goodness, you're so young, and I'm like, I'm sorry, thank you, but also hi. That's just because you can't see it.
Right.
Yes, one of my coworkers was like, oh, you're like 30, aren't you? And I was like, that's very sweet. I am not. Like, I am 35, but thank you very much.
Well, I think we both have a face that people think is younger than we are, because I had people thinking I was 10 years younger than I was when I went to Atlanta for a couple of the professorial conferences, and I'd say something and say, you can't be that old. I went, I am. I literally went to a meeting at a subcontractor's office this week, and the subcontractor guys, who are younger than me, like by like 5 years at least, were like, oh, well, you can't, they were like, oh, you still have 2 phones, you'll figure that out. And I was like, oh no, I have been in this industry almost 15 years. I prefer 2 phones. And they were like, they actually covered up their shock very well. It was very funny. Because they both were taken aback, and one of them recovered way faster than the other. And they were like, oh, what do you mean? Like, please share this knowledge. I turned the work phone off. I'm not at work.
It's not even that. It's also, God forbid you have a case where discovery is involved. A lawsuit where discovery is involved. They can't take your personal phone then. Right. They can only take your work phone.
Right. Right. When I was starting to teach in the MBA program at Manhattan, the guy who was the MBA director was saying, I really prefer having someone who has industry experience teaching this stuff. And I said, well, does 6 years working for the railroad count? Yeah. He goes, what? I said, oh no, I was in sales for the Norfolk Southern Railroad for 6 years before I quit and went into, the PhD program. So I do have industry experience. And he went, I never would have guessed. Whatever. We just have one of those faces.
Yeah, I know.
So I also worked in my account in cross stitch.
Very good.
Yes, I'm having fun with it. Can I find it now? Of course not. All right, let's get the bag up here. Is it in here? No,
of course not.
And put it down.
Okay.
I did work on it.
Okay.
This is my winter elf, and I'm started to fill in both sides. So I'm working the instructions are only for each third. So I'm going to fill in from the sides because it gets a little hectic in the middle. So I wanted to fill in these major color sections first. Oh, You know, it's frustrating. We get talking downstairs as we're packing up.
Well, yeah.
And I put things down.
Yes.
That's what happens.
So
those are the things. I changed my mind on this and got it started. So I'm really pleased on that.
Well, I mentioned last week that we had tickets to go to Stitch and Pitch.
Yes, you did.
And I had some friends who went with us who are not fiber crafters. So one of them donated their bag to Mom.
Oh, thank you.
So
well, it was nice. You met the woman who is the wife of the owner of the Mets.
Yes.
And she said there's something going on with my team at my stadium, and I didn't know about it.
So now she's involved, or now she knows about it, and now we've got contact.
Great.
Yep. So
knitting gloves.
Knitty City gave anti-fatigue gloves.
Those are great. Oh, look at this.
And then everyone got a little bit of different stuff.
That's great.
So I got, as I said, this, and I did have other friends who came with us who also were not fiber crafters, so I do end up having 3 of these, which is nice.
Ooh, this is cotton.
Yes.
And this is Lion brand, machine washable and dryable, limited edition.
Acrylic.
Acrylic. Okay.
Nice.
So, but nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
All from Knitting Fever, which is a distributor, which is actually out here on Long Island. Yep.
What are these guys?
Those are to put on the ends of onto your needles, and you pull them all the way through, and you can put them on the cord, so they stop.
Wow! That's better stoppers than I've usually had. And so Cook's Craft a card.
Yep.
Okay, those stoppers look interesting.
Yeah.
North Fork Fiber
Unfortunately,
Arts.
we didn't get one of the bags that had the crochet pattern because I didn't get there early enough. But that happens.
That does happen.
Because there was a crochet bag that with a pattern that was put together, but there were 400 and some people
involved.
So there, 400 and some ticket holders. So not everyone got a pattern in a bag, or a pattern and the stuff to make said pattern. So yeah.
And I couldn't go this year because of my knee.
Yeah.
And then here's a bank that's looking for us.
Well, the bank is the manager is is in a class with one of the organizers, and so offered to be a sponsor.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So they've got checking rates and they've got a promo code.
Yeah.
Very nice. That is really sweet.
And they sponsored the bags, I believe. So that was very sweet.
That was very sweet.
And they're good. They're good bags.
They are very good bags. This could make a nice grocery bag.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
Yeah. So
and it's got side pockets.
Yeah. One side pocket.
One big side pocket. This is lovely.
Yeah.
This is lovely. Excellent. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, this is going back here. We will have to organize. I like these.
Yeah.
Oh, and the stitch holders, stitch markers. The one there's baseball bats and a baseball.
Cute.
From Knit, our favorite local knitting store.
Yeah.
Bats and a ball. Oh, we got a smiley face. Help. There we go. Smiley face.
Nice.
There we go. And what is this one? A flower. One can always use a flower in one's life.
Nice.
This is really cute. I see. So it puts through like that.
Mm-hmm.
Stick that. All right, let's try this. Let's experiment here. Because I've got 351 stitches on here. And I would like not for them to come off. And they are on metal needles and linen. So it's not very sticky at all. No. At all. So so very long needles.
Well, no, because one of these is
the swatch.
This is the swatch.
Right, that can stay up here.
Yeah.
And then this is the other one. I've been sticking them through the ball of yarn to keep them. But look, the linen just falls off. So,
yeah.
It's not bad working with it. But I found out from the swatch that I washed, I did hand wash it. I didn't put it through the machine because I was leaving the needle in it.
Yeah.
I think it would,
yeah, I did put the cotton. I put this through the machine because I wanted to see how it was gonna fully bloom up.
Right.
Especially for that, like, cable-y kind of stitch.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm really pleased.
It did get softer.
I was gonna say, this bloomed not a whole bunch, but, like, enough that I'm very pleased.
I'm very, yeah. So,
also, like, just how nice is this cotton? Feel this cotton.
It's great.
Yeah.
That's beautiful for
Yeah.
cotton.
Mm-hmm.
You got some really good looking yarn. I got some really good looking yarn.
Yeah.
This is excellent. So anyway, note the size of my swatch.
Yes.
It is a good 2.5 inches on the size 2 and about 2 inches on the size 3s.
You did great.
So I wanted to make sure that I was going to get a true picture of what the linen was going to be working like. So as I said, I went up a size to account for the fact that I'm getting more stitches to the inch than I'm supposed to, but I just didn't like the fabric that the size 3s were giving me. So
that makes sense.
yes.
I first tried this on the stitch on, so it's written for size 10.5. You're supposed to do it on size 10.5, and I did not like that. So I honestly, I ripped out the swatch. I got like 6 rows in and I was like, no.
That just seems too big.
It was quite big. So now I'm on 9s, and now that I know how much it blooms, I'm going to be very pleased. And I got gauge. So
you can't ask for better than that. You really can't.
No. So yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, but that's about all she wrote.
I think that is about
a ton. Oh, I showed you my new shoes, right? I'm not wearing them, but the high tops.
No.
I meant to show them off last week, and I thought I had shown them to Mom. I got some platform high tops that are super cute. They've got like a moth on them, a really beautiful moth on them. They're black, and I'm thinking about getting. They have a purple pair that have dragons on them. Haven't ordered them yet, but it's close. That might be happening this week.
Interesting.
But yeah, well, because also, like, not gonna lie, I now understand why people always were telling me you'll get to an age where all you're gonna want to wear is sneakers. And it's not that I always want to wear sneakers. It's that when I know we're going to be doing something and you're going to be on your feet all day,
you get the support.
You get support better. I mean, I wore the platforms to the game on Wednesday, but I wore my Rothy's to work. The next day my feet hurt. Even though I wore the right shoes to the game, because I hadn't worn them like all day.
Yeah.
That was the not so great part. But yeah.
It happens. It happens. It does happen.
But yeah, I mean, I was going to say, I think we keep on keeping it to about a half hour, so.
Yeah, and as I said, we're going to be driving down to Alexandria, stopping off. I think we're stopping off in Philly.
Oh, fun.
I'm not sure exactly what we're looking at, but we'll be stopping. And I think we're staying in Manayunk.
Oh, Manayunk!
Yeah,
nice.
so we never stayed there. So I said, that's around where we want to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, I'm picking Manayunk because I'm sure that there are good restaurants there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a few of the other places that were also by Villanova, they were in more industrial areas. Mm-hmm. And I said, no, I can be at Manayunk now. Mm-hmm. So other than that, yeah, that's about it. Time is moving on. So
Yeah.
this knee is getting closer and closer. So we're trying to do some cleaning up. We're trying to do some consolidating just to get as much space around here as possible before I become immobilized.
Yeah.
It's got to be done. You know,
Yes.
there's no point in waiting. It's got to be done.
Mhm.
So anyway, I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm looking forward to the after, about 2-3 months out.
Mhm.
Then it'll be fine. Anything else, my dear?
That's about it.
Weave in those ends, and we probably won't see you next weekend because I'm not good at recording on my phone. But I'll be home the following one when you'll be away, so I can fly solo and give you updates about the quilt and whatever else I'm doing. So I can do that.
Yep.
And then for 4th of July, I'm not sure. We always go
Maybe.
with plans, and then we'll see.
We'll see.
All right. Meanwhile, have a great, happy Father's Day.
Yes.
And we'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.